has it ever changed over the years as the technology changes since the beginning to where we are today?
Well, the first time I did it on Mission 1, actually I remember being on taps of one of my first films and really seeing stunts and seeing how it was applied to story. Definitely has developed. Still, a lot of the technique we use is old school technique, just as limited amount as possible. But there's a lot of stuff we do. It's just get in the car, put the cameras on, and drive. Luckily, the cameras are a little smaller because a lot of times I'm driving a car. I've got the cameras right in front, and I just see little pieces through, and I'm kind of weaving my way through it. But definitely, I've learned a lot. I mean, over the past 4 decades of making movies, I've developed a creative process that works well, and when also, depending on when I'm doing stunts and how to set it up properly to try to, ease the recovery, make sure that I can recover when I'm doing it, and the kind of prep time. I really changed how we prepare a Mission Impossible and how much time we spend preparing a Mission Impossible, so it has developed in that way.
You mentioned story. I know McHugh is a big director when it comes to developing that backstory. Is there ever a time when you guys may chat just kind of off the cuff and develop a backstory to your character that we may not be privy to as audience members?
Yeah, there's always stuff we're talking about story and character. Definitely about where, with all the characters, with all of them. And sometimes it finds its way into the movie, like the White Widow. Yes. Some of that stuff, but that's something that we talked about privately. That was and then it develops into what it became. And so there's things that we talk about, story and tone and character, kind of what we want the movie to be, what we want the audience to feel, and then we kind of, it finds its way into the movie.
You talk about that feeling, man. I mean, we constantly have the feeling of flying, given the fact that there's so many jumps going on. So, I mean, your stunt coordinators and the guy who you're flying with, Craig O'Brien, I believe his name is, right?
For the skydive.
I mean, talk about
he was camera operator.
Talk about the technicality from working with the two of you and the trust that you guys have to have when you're doing these things together.
Well, Craig he shot the Halo jump. That's what he did, and basically that was the skydive. And he'd never shot a film in the way that we had to shoot it because it's narrative storytelling. It's not just image capturing, which is a whole different. That whole sequence is storytelling. So we had to figure out how and educate him how to do it. And he's also not looking through a viewfinder while he's shooting it. So he and I just spent a lot of time together working it out, and also with McHugh setting the frame. We'd spent a lot of time on the ground setting that frame and going through it, and then up in the air, and it was like sports team. You're just reviewing the footage, just reviewing it over and over again.
So, I brought a skydiver with us because we have to ask a skydiving question.
How are you? Yeah, Craig, excellent.
So I wanted him to ask the technical question as it relates to skydiving. So Fran will jump in.
All right, how's it going? I know more than anybody what you were doing up there. And you're acting and skydiving?
Yeah.
How do you set that bar?
See,
I mean,
Craig,
no other actor does that.
We'd never done anything like this before, and also to figure out how to move in that regards. I mean, what it's like when you're about to hit someone in the air and you're judging your speed, and you want to make sure you're not hitting them too hard, making sure we're not going helmet to helmet, head to head. We could add concussion, not making sure, we're spotting each other to make sure we're not getting tangled or deploying each other's chute. And also the performance to just keep going over and over and actually finding the performance in the rehearsals. And it was Craig and I and McHugh, the three of us, just constantly dialing it in, and the skydive team and myself kind of delivering images to McQuarrie, to kind of go, is this what we're looking for, in the rehearsals? And then we go up, and when we went to shoot it, we had literally 1 minute of night to shoot that sequence, to exit that aircraft. And it was, there were times that we were exiting the aircraft. It was a C-17 out the back. It's quite violent leaving that aircraft. So there were times we were trying, like, how close do we get? And also Craig's got to keep me in frame as I'm flipping, and he and I have to be in sync. I have to, even if I'm flipping around, I have to have spatial awareness of where he is the whole time.
I want everybody to know that you're an awesome skydiver,
well,
not a regular skydiver, not a regular actor. Patrick Swayze, I think, is the last guy to do anything like what you've done.
He was a great athlete, Patrick.
He was
an amazing athlete.
And I'll compare Jackie Chan to doing a lot of stunts.
Oh, he's amazing, Jackie.
But you doing these, there's a lot of little things when he's on his back and you're putting a tank on and all that.
Yes, I know.
I'm like, wow, that raises the level. You're messing with a tank and all that
I have
stuff?
to flip him over and then deploy his chute.
Right? And by the way, if someone's falling on their back, it's a different kind of fall. You got to fall faster.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. And Craig and I were, at times we were dying because we're arching. You could hear, when you hear my voice, I'm arching so hard trying to keep up that speed as he's traveling down there. You're absolutely correct.
You're going to win a Taurus Award, by the way.
What is it?
A Taurus is the Stuntman Association Award.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Last question. By the way, me and Craig's going to film me jumping a giant award out of an airplane.
Excellent, man.
I wish you could come and do the jump with us. I'm renting a sky van.
Oh, where is that?
At Paris. We're going to do it out of Paris.
Oh, that's fun,
We'll
man.
fly you.
Well, I'm going to see him next week.
Okay, tell him I told you.
I'm going to see him next week.
Oscar-looking statue.
Perfect,
We're
man.
jumping out.
Cool.
And you're the best, man. You are the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Pleasure, man. I'll
Thank
tell
you,
everything.
man.